Hello, Virgo. Welcome to Higher Source Tarot for a tarot, an oracle card reading for all Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We're going to start it off here with a Seasons of the Witch, Summer, Midsummer energy. You've got the Sun Wheel. Make sure to catch your breath. You are in for an unexpected journey. But as we told you when we did the Jupiter and Cancer readings, that your luck is changing for the better. This will be the year where your hard work and your efforts are going to be applauded, are going to be rewarded. So let's see what the cards can tell you. All right, we've got the Hanged Man, the Knight of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, the Lovers, choices coming in, the Moon, might have a secret admirer, the Knight of Wands, and the Ace of Wands. Well, we've got three major arcana. I feel like your luck is changing for the better. You've got Gemini, you've got Pisces. I like this a whole lot, all right? We've got the Archangel Raphael, who guides and protects travelers, but it's also the matchmaker of the tarot. I feel like you have a brilliant new beginning showing up here. Anything new that you start, I feel like you're going to find it resonates immediately. It clicks instantly. You'll say that this is the right deal for me. If it's a love relationship, you'll be love at first sight. And you have a very romantically intense relationship coming in. It's like swept away type of energy. Now, we have also quite a bit of fire. We've got air and water too. Did I say we have Gemini, Pisces? Well, we do. So anyway, with this, I do feel like you have more than meets the eye. So like I said, you might have an opportunity that you're not quite aware of. And it all starts with you. It's all an inside job. So with the Hanged Man energy, surrender to win, but you've got an aha. I feel like you have something here that shifts you. And I see somebody, it looks like you're driving on a commute, listening to something, maybe a spiritual podcast that really shifts your energy, or even a commercial. I'll tell you what, years ago, when Ram Dass was still alive, he was doing an event with Deepak, and it was very expensive. And I was like, I am not paying that kind of money to go see them. That's just too much. Well, then Ram passed, and Deepak had a show that was like a normally priced ticket in my area. And I don't live in a place that has Deepak Chopra visiting frequently. I feel like it's one of those where you get like, and it was a commercial. Okay, I saw it in my algorithm. It just showed up. And I'm like, how in the hell did they know I wanted to see him? Well, anyway, I feel like it's one of those where something comes into your awareness and it is a real tipping point for you. When you're like, I should check that out. I feel like if it's something with the physical body, it's life-changing, all right? You start to go to some other kind of fitness place, or you do something different and you say, man, I would never turn back. There was no turn back moment here. It was all about moving forward in a beautiful, brand new way. Now, I also feel like, too, as soon as you give up on love and you just don't care, and it's not give up, I shouldn't say it like that, but it's sort of like, I had a friend the other day to say to me, she's very busy, and she's like, if somebody is interested in me and I don't return it, it's a waste of time. That's how she put it. And so I feel like when you are that cut and dried about it, you're not even looking to dabble. It's like you're either right or you're wrong. It's like you're going to be very black and white. I'll tell you what, the right one shows up and you'll know it immediately. It will hit you so hard. And you'll say, I was not even interested in this. I don't know where this human came from. I don't know how they figured out to find me when I'm not even looking. So I feel like, especially if you've been on the hunt, the minute you kind of drop that desire, that's what it's really referred to as, dropping the desire. That's when it shows up. I feel like your luck changes for the better. And it's a shift within you. Something is changed within you. So with the Knight of Cups here, I mentioned before, you've got the two knights. They come in to get the job done. And so for somebody, you have a very romantically charged, like we were saying, especially too with this. Okay, knees apart, just like the Empress. Although the Empress is perpetually pregnant, but I'm telling you, there's such symbolism in these cards. It's amazing. And so especially too, you know, somebody that may be a novice with cards doesn't even notice something like that. It's like, oh yeah, there's meaning behind that. It's not just a freak accident. They drew that on purpose. So I do feel like you have like I said, a chemistry that is off the charts with somebody, and they are very attentive to you. They're very detail oriented, and it might be another earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Cap. But I feel like that you find very attractive, okay? If you are the one that usually has to go it alone, if you find in relationships they're kind of along for the ride, you're finally going to have a partner. Now, if you're in a relationship, I feel like this will turn up the romantic energy around you. Might be time for a date night or even a date in where you find little fancy things. All right, something that just feels a little decadent, feels a little special. You say, God, that was a great night. I'm glad I'm with you. Okay, that's the kind of feeling that you're going to have. So the Page of Swords comes in, and he loves to do research. And so you might find that any moves that you make, you'll research it first, and you might find that you're almost like a detective, or you're behind the scenes looking at social media and reading reviews and, driving past the place before you go in. I just feel like with this, you won't do anything lightly. This is not jumping right in. He looks over his shoulder for a reason. He's always sort of checking out the area. And so be careful with communication with this and with this, especially if somebody is late to something. Be careful how you communicate with them, because he does tend to show up late, and he'll cut you right off at the knees with that sword. He's just not that great at wielding it. And it can be a very tactless communication if you're not careful. And I do feel like it's over somebody being a bit tardy. So with the Queen of Wands energy, there's something really beautiful in your midst. And so it's great loyalty, but it's overall too, it really is a feeling of connection, of seeing each other, of being in a place too where you're excited. She moves up that ladder as well. So if you are asking about a job, I feel like not only is it a match, but it's a match that's going to give you more opportunities. Somebody may have an opportunity to run a committee or a department and get a little extra money out of the deal, where they say that's actually a stipend, or that's actually a scheduled thing that's more than your regular job. So I do feel like with that Queen of Wands, she's also great for entrepreneurs too. So if you're trying to start some kind of a shop online or something like that, this is the time to do it. And I feel like with the Ace of Wands, it'll feel more like a hobby. So the Lover's energy, you know what I just saw? Somebody decorating dolls. So if you're an artist of some type, but with the energy of the Lovers here, or maybe travel agent, if you're doing a side gig with that, this is the kind of energy where it expands, grows, and flourishes. So the Lovers brings you down the path. This can be marriage too, by the way. It's a soulmate energy. But I do feel like with the Lovers, you're going to feel like you're on the right track. It's an energy of being right on schedule. And you almost feel like you're gliding down that yellow brick road, right? The road paved with gold. You feel like you're just gliding along because everything seems to click and move easily. So I do feel like with this, you have the choices up to you, but it will be a positive choice. There's nothing here that's even scary or remotely scary. So the moon, again, I told you before, information comes into play here. The moon mirrors the sun, and so you have that dawn of a new day coming in. You have an energy that balances everything. You have everything coming from source over here. And so with the moon, you've got the yods or yods of the tarot coming down, which are gifts. They stand for the first letter of the name of God in Hebrew. And so when the moon shows up, there's mystery, secrets, feelings coming out. I feel like somebody's feelings will surface. And there could be something with that Page of Swords in the moon where somebody, you see a side of them you don't love. All right. And it might change some things. I just feel like it doesn't feel like a love relationship. It feels more like a friend or a coworker, or a coworker you're friends with, and you get a text from them by mistake. They mean to send it to somebody else, and it's not too nice. So be careful with those two together, because that's when we tend to do things like that. Now, with the energy of the Knight of Wands, this gets the job done quickly. It's very fast-paced, but it can be lacking in detail. So we have to be careful not to just rush through things and get the job done. And be careful who you hire, too. Now, I would say with this, if you're paying the person by the hour, we've got to be always watchful of that, because I've hired people before and they've just charged me insane fees for labor because they weren't very skilled. Okay, I'll just be upfront. So I do feel like with this, it can be somebody who's kind of flighty. And again, if they're not, showing up when they're scheduled and things like that, you might find that really grates on your nerves. I don't care for it either. I'm an Aries Sun, Capricorn rising, and Virgo moon. It's like tardiness when you're hiring somebody is not a positive around here. So the Ace of Wands, that magic wand, this is where you feel like you can do magic, where it just feels like everything falls into order. Things are easy. It's exciting. Now, you do have an apology here, so I do feel like if you have a Page of Swords in your midst who comes at you and does something careless, I do feel like they'll apologize, and I do feel like it's heartfelt. But I still don't know how much you're going to enjoy that if you are on the receiving end, because I feel like it is something where the person has a bit of an attitude they conceal, and it ends up being exposed through their own messy communication. It's where they accidentally try to, blind copy somebody, and then the blind copied person responds back to you. Okay, and you're like, surprise, I'm here too. I'm telling you, you're going to have one of those in there, and it's not you that has to apologize, but it does make life awkward. If you believe, so ask, believe, receive. You've got improving health, mind, body, spirit. We've got forgiveness. So that olive branch that gets offered, you may say, all right, fine, and take action. So it's all about moving forward, advancing with all that fiery energy, and choose a new direction. So again, if you're upset with somebody, it might be time to forget, and move forward. Good things are coming, Virgo. I love you, and I'll be back again soon.